Biafra, superstars, media.
My people, my Biafran people, now how una day today? I say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, depending from where you listen to the sound of my voice. This one na Biafra Superstars Media, and I'm holding it down. I say may God bless Biafra, and may God bless His Excellency Oyendu Mazenam Kano. May God bless His Excellency the Prime Minister of the Biafra Republic Government in Exile, His Excellency ESN Ekpa, Simon and Njoku, for the great job Simon is doing. Simon, we want to say we thank you, we appreciate you, we love you, because we know in your hands Biafra is coming, in your hands Biafra is safe, and in your hands, when Biafra comes, the people of Biafra will rejoice. My fellow Biafrans, today I want to speak out to the so-called one Nigerian lovers. For so many months, I've been talking about the Almajiri culture that is coming. I've been stressing about the final game of the Fulani cabal. You say they are uneducated. You say they've not gone to school. You say they are the less educated in that zoo. But it beats my imagination that every time the Fulani cabal, they always have one up against the so-called educated people from the southwest, the southeast, the middle belt, and the rest of them. Now, this man they call Pantami. He has helped to create a new dimension in that zoo called Nigeria. We're going forward. Nigerians, those who believe in one Nigeria, they will now be doing GoFundMe, crowdfunding, see-through economy, where they will be gathering money all across the whole country to pay to kidnappers. This is the final dimension of the Fulani cabal. And today I will prove it to you all that the man they say went ahead on crowdfunding to raise some money on behalf of a family. Pantami said him and his friends, even though he did not mention his friends. But somehow, somewhere, he came from nowhere and said he and his friends, they want to raise 100 million to pay the kidnappers. What they did was to create the awareness, and suddenly now, the gullible ones, the dumb, the blind, and the deaf in that zoo called Nigeria, they have now somehow, due to empathy and sympathy, they have accepted this new phenomenon of gathering money across the country to pay kidnappers. They call them kidnappers, even though we know they are the Fulani killer headsmen, they are Boko Haram, they are ISWAP. But somehow the zoo Fulani cabal that you said they've not gone to school, they have again controlled the so-called journalists in that Nigeria to use the same word, kidnappers. When they attack in Benue, they call them the farmer and herders clash. When they attack in the land of Biafra, they call them unknown gunmen. When they attack in Plateau, they say these are farmers and villagers clashing. They should find a way to, settle their differences and live in peace. When they attacked in Abuja, they say, oh, they are kidnappers. Can you see the way they name change these people to suit the narrative? And somehow the zoo media, they fall for this trick of the cabal over and over and over again. Very, very sad. Because I keep wondering how those dirty-looking scallywags, men dressed in rag, dirty-looking, unkept men they call the Fulani killer headsmen, men that are uneducated, men that cannot tell their left from the right, they are suddenly the best experts when it comes to using a smartphone. That when they communicate people, the so-called zoo government, they cannot trace their line. Suddenly, these men, they now have sophisticated cell phones, smartphones to shoot HD camera to communicate with families, and members are being kidnapped. Dirty-looking, stinking men are now so-called the commandos of that so-called Nigeria. That's the military they are scared of. Today, I want us to listen to what I'm about to say, because the new dimension of the Fulani cabal is to create an environment now whereby there will be kidnapping and the whole of Nigeria will be doing a GoFundMe. They will be doing a GoFundMe to gather money and pay the so-called kidnappers. They use a nice word, kidnappers. But when you go deep, who are the kidnappers? Where are they from? We all know who they are. But the Zoo media always skip to the loo of the Fulani cabal. So today, let us listen to a narrative of this family that started this whole situation, where due to empathy of a man having 4 daughters or 5 daughters, and they were all kidnapped. They were kidnapped, and suddenly the sympathy and empathy came in, and from nowhere, Pantami came and said, okay, going forward, I'm doing a crowdfunding. And now, it is now the new order of the day in Nigeria. Everywhere you look now, people are doing crowdfunding to go and pay these so-called kidnappers. Men I call the Fulani killer headsmen, but they say no, they are kidnappers. Use a nice name. Use a sweet word for them. Use a word that the international bodies will not know who to pinpoint at. I feel so sad that the Zoo media, they fall for this over and over and over again. They claim they go to school. They claim they are educated. They claim they are the doctors with the PhD, the professors in media, doctors and professors in mass communication. Yet, dirty, rotten, stinking, uneducated Fulani killer headsmen are telling them the words to use, are controlling them and making them to speak on the narrative of the Fulani cabal. Very, very sad. My Biafrans, make we hear the story. I will sit back and relax and make this one brief. Make we hear the story of this family and see how the 419 came through by Isa Pantami. Listen.
Kidnappers who abducted 10 people from Sagwari Estate Layout at Dutse in Buhari Area Council of the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, on January 7, 2024, have killed 2 more of the abductees. Okay. However, the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, said the police already initiated a comprehensive plan of action to rescue the victims. He said the force at headquarters was diligently coordinating efforts to address this and prevent any further occurrence, as all hands were on deck to rescue the victims. It was gathered that after killing some of the kidnapped victims, the bandits increased their demand from the initial 60 million naira per person to 100 million naira, now totaling 700 million naira. Okay. Residents said the victims were allegedly killed over the delay in raising the ransom demanded by the kidnappers. The fate of the remaining 5 abducted daughters of the Al-Qadria family is still hanging in the balance following their kidnapping in the nation's capital, Abuja. The family say they are yet to have any interaction with the abductors in the last 24 hours. Okay. Arise correspondent Ferdinand Duoha spoke with some family members.
These bodies. This is the home of the Al-Qadria family in Zuma town of Buhari Area Council, where the father and 6 of his children were abducted by bandits on the 2nd of January. Okay. Although Mr. Mansour was subsequently released, it was for the purpose of going to generate a ransom of 60 million naira.
So this man and his 6 daughters or children were kidnapped. And now, the Fulani headsman, the killer headsman, they released him to go and raise, the money. The ransom they were asking for. They released him. It happened on the 2nd of December, a day after the New Year. Let's continue. Listen.
While still trying to put together the ransom, on the 13th of January, the family received a call to come identify one of 4 corpses dumped on the outskirts of the FCT.
Boom! While he was still trying to hustle around to get the money. From the 2nd of January till the 13th of January, he was still hustling around, trying his best to raise the ransom. They now called him. Who called him? The Fulani killer headsmen. They called him to come and observe some bodies outside to see if it belongs to his daughter or if any of his child were part of those. That's the story they're telling us now, that the Fulani killer headsmen, they killed people. They now called him. Say, hey, go and check some bodies out there to know if one of them is your child. Get that though. Keep on listening, because I want to analyze this with my third eyes open. There is a communication with this man and the killer headsman. They've asked him to go and get some cash. He was released and they asked him to go and raise some money. While he was trying to raise this money, on the 13th of January, they called him, telling him to go to a location to go and check the dead bodies there. That's the story the media is giving us. Let's continue.
This turned out to be his second daughter, Nabiha, a 400-level biological science student at the Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria. News of Nabiha's death has spawned several reactions, including a crowdfunding to raise the questioned 60 million naira ransom.
Hold on there. The news of Nabila's death now raised the awareness, which now led to a crowdfunding of 60 million. The news of Nabila's death all across the zoo of Nigeria now. Hey, she is killed, or she's been killed, or she's dead. Suddenly, from nowhere, there was now a need to do a crowdfunding of 60 million, or I believe it's 100 million. By whom? The man they call Pantami. The man who controls your name, your NIM. Suddenly, from out of the blues, he now said, I want to raise 100 million. Myself and my friends. Who are his friends? They didn't mention that. That was the way he now created the awareness of a crowdfunding, which was a new dimension to the so-called kidnappers now raising their money, because it means because I keep telling you, Nigerian economy is down now. Nigeria, their economy is in the gutters. Back in the days, if they kidnap somebody who is just a normal person, their families could raise money. But Buhari and Tinubu now has made sure the economy is down, that even the average family cannot raise money anymore. Check my videos last month. I mentioned this, that the next game now, when I was talking to Abaribe, the next game now is they are moving to Abuja, where the so-called politicians are, because that is where the money is. If you remember when I was speaking to Senator Abaribe, where he was crying that he is no longer safe, the so-called killer headsmen, they are now in Abuja. He is not safe. He was crying in the House of Reps or in the Senate. And I told him that because the economy of Nigeria is now in the gutters, the people around the normal places, they are now poor, they are broke, they cannot raise money anymore. So now the Fulani killer headsmen and their kidnappers, whichever name they want to give them, they need to come with a new dimension whereby they will now be taxing the whole of the country to do a GoFundMe to carry on with their so-called kidnapping activities. Because they need to buy more weapons. They go to the black market to buy more weapons. That's the game they are playing. So eventually, Nigerians, they are now funding the weaponry of the Fulani killer headsmen on a larger scale. Because the economy of Nigeria is down. Those in Abuja, they don't have the money unless you're a politician. So the only way they could carry this out now is go to Abuja, kidnap, and tell the people to do a GoFundMe, a crowdfunding. Somehow now, Pantami is now responsible for this crowdfunding out of the blues. They came with this story that a man with 6 of his children were kidnapped. And now they are doing a crowdfunding. Listen to this story. Keep your third eye open. Listen.
for the release of her other sisters. But sadly, this turned out to be his second daughter, Nabiha, a 400-level biological science student at the Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria. News of Nabiha's death has spawned several reactions, including a crowdfunding to raise the questioned 60 million naira ransom for the release of her other sisters. While Nabiha has been buried, the situation has become complicated as the bandits are now exploiting the sympathy of Nigerians to request a higher ransom of 100 million naira.
Boom! The situation is now complicated as the bandits are now seeing, the way Nigerians are showing their empathy. And they are now saying, oh, in this case, we might now increase the money from 60 million to 100 million. It's a game they are playing because right now, as we speak, they are now asking for 700 million. They have gotten you guys where they wanted to catch you at. The Fulani killer headsmen, Boko Haram, that they call bandits and kidnappers, they don't catch Nigeria for secure one. They have grabbed Nigeria by the balls. They are now in control of the sentiments of those they call the gullible one Nigerian lovers. Because right now, through GoFundMe, through crowdfunding, you all will now be responsible for the funding of the killer headsmen that will come around eventually to take over your land and Islamize you all. That's the game. They had to come with this dimension because Nigeria now is broke. The economy is in the gutters. Nigeria don't fall for ground. The economy of that zoo is in the gutters. So now kidnapping makes no sense because if you kidnap them, nobody can even raise 10 million. 10 million is hard. And the zoo government, the only way they could do it is to go and kidnap the politicians. But the politicians, they have their, their escorts around them, around the whole clock. So what they want to do now is to say, okay, in order to fund this banditry, in order to fund, the mission of the Fulani killer headsmen, they have to go on a Sisu mission. Or is it like a susu, where you go out and do crowdfunding? Ajo, everybody go around and say, you bring 1,000, you bring 1,000. The whole of the country, within 2 weeks, they can raise 100 million. And they will pay to the bandits. When you pay them, they take your money and they go to the black markets to buy more weapons. That is the game of the Fulani cabal. You one Nigerian lovers will be the one to fund your extinction. Pantami was not stupid when he came with the idea that him and his friends, they are doing a crowdfunding from nowhere. He and his friends, they are doing a crowdfunding. Let us continue with this story. Listen.
Although the family members confirm that they have received financial assistance from Nigerians, they say they have not heard from the bandits in the last 24 hours.
Boom! Although the family members are saying they have received money from the Nigerians, the loving Nigerians. You love Jesus, you are a giver, you give your widow's mite, you give to your pastor. Even when you are broke, your pastor is rich, you still take your widow's mite and give to your pastor. And now they are coming with this new dimension to say, okay, Nigerians, they are givers. They believe in one Nigeria. They have sympathy. They show empathy. They are loving people. They are kind people. They are nice. Let us use their kindness for their weakness. Let us use their kindness to be their weakness. And suddenly, bandits now are saying, oh yeah, go and do GoFundMe. Go and do crowdfunding. I have caught 100 people. Go and do crowdfunding to bail them off as ransom. We need 700 million. Hi, God have mercy. Nigerians. Let's continue.
Family is also pleading with the bandits to accept what has been generated and show mercy. Investigations also reveal that Nabiha and her family were adopted by the same gang of bandits who struck Sagwari Layout Estates, also in Buhari Area Council, but more than 10 kilometers apart, on the 7th of January. These bandits also killed 3 victims from the 10 abducted in Sagwari and dumped their bodies alongside Nabiha's in a community on the outskirts of the FCT.
Okay, so this is a way they were trying to create the the atmosphere to let you know what is happening within Nigeria. And now the new phenomenon now that they are doing something brand new is do a crowdfunding. Crowdfunding means say the whole of Nigeria drop 100 naira each. You are 200 million in population. Everybody drop 100 naira. Oh my God, have mercy. Even though you have a government, your government is there to protect you. But no, your government and your military, they are only in the land of Biafra. Now, only in the land of Biafra then get power. You are asking yourself, where is the military? No, your military, they are in the land of Biafra. That's the only place they want to be at. They don't care if the bandits come to Abuja, the capital of that zoo. The FCT, the Federal Capital Territory of the Zoo Republic. They don't care. There is no military to protect you there. You are doing a crowdfunding. My God, have mercy. The pain of the stupidity of our people sometimes. It's a pain person. When a man chooses to be this foolish and stupid, it's a pain. They can't see the handwriting on the wall. They cannot tell what exactly the cabal they are up to. They pretend and pretend and pretend. Fly, when they chop dead body, eventually the fly will be buried with that dead body, 6 feet deep. You all know what is about to happen, but you are scared to stand up and go for a revolution. You want Nigerian lovers. And when we, the Biafrans, we are fighting for our freedom, you come with your military and you slow us down. My Lord, have mercy. Damn if you do, damn if you don't. Lord, have mercy. Lord, have mercy. For now, my Biafran people, for now, make we hear what the analysts are saying, the Nigerian media journalists. Make we hear what they are saying about this thing, because they have fell for the trap, for the okie-doke of the Fulani cabal. Pantami was the one they sent to come up with this new dimension of saying, hey, we are doing a crowdfunding. You see him? When God is working, devil is also working. When Mazedam the kind of blessed Simon Ekpa to say Simon is coming with a new dimension. The Fulani cabal now, they are now coming with their own new dimension by saying it is time to do crowdfunding because they need that money to take to the black market to buy weapons. That's their game, because they know that that war is coming. That war is inevitable. That thing you guys, you are scared to discuss, it is coming. Listen to the journalists. Let us see, from their own perspective. Let us see what they are saying. Listen.
Developments here. Unfortunately, we've heard that it's not just the Alkadria family who've been affected by this sad spate of kidnappings. We've also had other families, including the Ariyo family in Abuja, whose daughter, they lost their daughter for Lawrence Ariyo, as well as 13-year-old. What's your take on this story?
This is heart-wrenching, Ayo. This is absolutely heart-wrenching because this is an ongoing saga. We have this particular incident today. We have another one yesterday, the day before. They're the ones that are unrepeated. And we question what is going on.
God bless this girl. She is new to the channel and she's saying, what is going on? Something is going on. Something is going on. Something is going on. What's going on? Yeah, what's going on? Oh, what's going on? But let's get it on. Even though something is going on, they are asking what is going on. But the Zoo Nigeria, the one Nigerian lovers, they are getting on. They're asking, they know something is going on. What is going on? But the Zoo One Nigerian lovers, they want to get on, get along with it, pretend as if nothing is happening. But I'm happy with this lady here. She's speaking truth to power. She's asking the right question. It's been happening every day. What is going on? This thing is happening every day. What is going on? Can they give the answer? Let us see. Let us see. Check.
I want to quote the former Minister for Communications and Digital Economy, Pantami, who is venting his frustration at what he's calling the lack of use of the NIM SIM policy. So the tools exist, the policies exist that are supposed to help us combat this impunity that is running wild in our country. But what is going on? Why is the human factor not engaging all these tools, the wealth of wisdom that has been plugged into our system to be able to make our country safe?
My sister, with all due respect, you see, that's the double speak or the double statement that I hate. When someone is doing a double speak, you ask the good question, what is going on? Something is going on. And then in the same vein, you spoke about Pantami. I would say Pantami or whatever. This same guy is a person who has all your data, your contact details through NIM system. This same man, during their so-called Python dance in the land of Biafra, NIM was active. Your military, they were using the NIM, the DSS was using the NIM to come to the land of Biafra to kill our people. Our great commander, Ikonso, they used that NIM system to track him down. Because that's somebody who hardly comes out in the streets. He is always in the bushes. He was one of the head of the ESN, but they tricked him by asking him to come for a meeting in the city. When he came, they now switched on his data through NIM and they were tracking him down until he got to a place where they came there and they poisoned him. They injected him before they killed him with grease. He was drowned in grease. He was suffocated in grease. That was the only way they killed him. So the NIM system is there. Pantami is the one who is, in fact, I'm still wondering how that guy is still in power, handling such a delicate, a very vital, data till this day. That tells you the Fulani cabal, they are still in control. If Pantami is still the one controlling that name, despite that they claim they have a new government in the name of Tinubu, if Pantami is still the one controlling that name data, my fellow Biafrans, that means the zoo is gone. It means the zoo is gone. Because the cabal, they need that data. They have captured everybody in that zoo. Anybody who wants to rise up in that zoo will be brought down. Which is why we need men from diaspora. The only way to gain your freedom will be from diaspora. The only way to get Biafra will be from diaspora. Because the name is functional. It is functioning. They have the data. They can link you up in real time. They can trail you. They can tell your, through the signals. They can tell where you've last been in real time. But they refuse to use it. And now they are doing the blame game. Pantami say, oh, it's not me. Pantami is saying it's not me. It is the military. They have refused to use it. But it was okay to be used in the land of Biafra. But now they are saying, no, they don't want to use it. God have mercy, God. Let's continue.
And then I also want to appeal to my brothers and sisters in the media, because there's so many reports, and I'm sure you will elaborate on this. When we report on these stories, are we being responsible as media practitioners? Are we fueling the crisis, or are we doing our duty and our responsibility as media practitioners?
Hold on, my sister. God bless you. Now you are speaking to my low. You are now understanding where I'm going. You see, she's brand new and she knows what she's saying. These media people, are they fueling it? What they are doing is that Pantami has succeeded to spread that so-called crowdfunding new dimension in Nigeria, and they needed to use the media. Suddenly, all across Twitter, all across Facebook, you are hearing about crowdfunding, all across the social media. That was how they were able to spread the news. Say, oh, this man with 6 daughters, they have killed one. He's very, very sad. Please, let us raise some money. Let us do some crowdfunding. Your Zoom media were spreading it like wildfire. They came with a good story, a juicy story. A man with 6 children. Despite those who are doing their NYC, those who went to serve their so-called country were kidnapped. How many months ago? Since October. That's not enough. People who went to serve their country, NYC people were kidnapped and they did not do crowdfunding. But suddenly, Pantami has come now and say, hey, I am doing crowdfunding and all these things. And the media, they have helped to spread that news like wildfire. It has gone through the whole of the zoo called Nigeria. From the urban to the local areas, even the outskirts of that zoo called Nigeria. They have spread the news. They have now spread the news. And now she's asking the questions. She's asking a very good question. Listen to her question. Very, very vital. This lady, she's very, very smart. She asks a very good question. Let's take it back. Listen to the question again. Listen.
Is the human factor not engaging all these tools, the wealth of wisdom that has been plugged into our system to be able to make our country safe and functional? And then I also want to appeal to my brothers and sisters in the media, because there's so many reports, and I'm sure you will elaborate on this. When we report on these stories, are we being responsible as media practitioners? Are we fueling the crisis, or are we doing our duty and our responsibility as media practitioners in ensuring that these cases are reported responsibly, in ensuring that we're not adding fuel to fire, in ensuring that we are prioritizing the safety of our people, but also the integrity and the work that the security forces are working? Because no matter what we want to say, the security forces, they're working. They are working. They're doing their best. But we all have to come together to make an effort. So I'm disheartened and also just tired of being disheartened every day. Very tired.
Yes, she is tired of being disheartening. She is tired and sick and tired of being sick and tired. That's just from the media. They are tired of reporting the same news. They are sick and tired of being sick and tired. That's the game. But she made a very good point. Are they helping to fuel the agenda of the Fulani killer headsmen? Because now they are calling them kidnappers. The same people, when they go to Middle Belt, they call them farmers and headers clash. When they go to Benue, Fulani killer heads. In fact, only that governor then, what's his name? That good man from Benue. He will be the one to shout, "This is a Fulani cabal, a Fulani cabal." Fulani headsmen. Governor Autumn, God bless your soul. Governor Autumn. He said, no, this is not farmers and headers clash. These are the Fulani cabal coming to destroy our land, to kill our people. He spoke to power. When they go to Jos, they say, oh, it is the farmers and headers clash. They have come to Abuja now. Abuja. And they call them kidnappers. The same person with different name. The same people with different brand. Hi, Lord have mercy. Only in Nigeria. Only in Nigeria. But they want to blame Israel. When Israel know their enemy, They call them for who they are. Hamas is Hamas. They went all out to crush down Hamas wherever they were hiding. And the Zoom media, they were telling the Jewish rabbi to apologize for what Israel was doing. But the Zoom media now, it is happening in your house. You were attacking Israel. But now it is happening in your house. The chicken has come home to roost. And now you are saying you are tired. You are sick and tired of being sick and tired. It pain you well. You are having sleepless nights, reporting the same story over and over and over and over and over again. Every day on the radio. While men like Pantami, they are happy, they are licking their tongues, licking their lips, saying yes, the Zoom media, they have helped to spread the news. Going forward, the new dimension now, my Biafran people, watch. The new dimension will be what? Crowdfunding. All across Nigeria, they will kidnap. People will be doing GoFundMe because that's the only way for the kidnappers to raise money. Nigerian economy is down. It's in the gutters. They don't have no revenue to pay anybody. The Nigerian economy is down. The only people in Nigeria that has money now are the politicians. So if the kidnappers kidnap a normal person, a middle class man, they are wasting their time. Oh my God. So the only way to fuel what they are doing is to do crowdfunding, where they tax the whole of the Nigerians. The 10% you Nigerians give to your pastor, you will start giving it to the kidnappers. That's the game. Very easy to decode and decipher if you keep your third eye open. Very, very sad. Very sad. My people, to wrap this one up. To wrap this one up. I need to call my boy again. My guy, TERRØRl5T. Make we hear what TERRØRl5T is about to say about this case. Let us see if he's able to link what is happening with Pantami. Is he able to decode and decipher and see the things the way it is? Call a spade in this situation. Make we see what TERRØRl5T want to talk for this case. TERRØRl5T, over to you. I want to hear you speak. I want to see how you will break it down. I want to see how you will decipher and uncover the hidden agenda of the Fulani cabal. Those you call the kidnappers, when you know deep inside, they are Boko Haram, they are ISWAB, and they are members of the Fulani killer headsmen. But now you are calling them kidnappers. I want to hear you speak. I want to hear your perspective. I want to see the way you will be able to speak to Nigerians and calm them down, or if you will be scared to speak truth to power. Make we hear TERRØRl5T. My people, make una hear them. Listen.
Your take on this story?
So for me, the part I cannot understand is the insensitivity of the government.
Okay.
Yes, First Lady Oluremi Tinubu made a statement, but I expected President Tinubu to be able to talk about that when he had the chance yesterday.
Okay.
Again, he missed the chance, just like President Tinubu did with his January Day speech.
Okay.
President Tinubu has been missing the chance too much to connect with Nigerians at their lowest ebb. And I'm sure President Tinubu forgets that he is the chief mourner and the father that is supposed to be there for the Nigerian people.
Okay.
He was in Imo yesterday talking about other things, but he never spared a thought for the victims of the kidnap and Abena.
Okay.
That's the height of insensitivity. Because if a leader doesn't spare thought for people affected in the country, then it shows that there is no level of thing we say here that will be able to bring them back. So that's another opportunity missed. And the speechwriter should do better.
Okay.
Secondly, the insensitivity of the security agencies. A police spokesperson said something yesterday that Nigerians should not cry more than the bereaved. That's the height of insensitivity. If there is no bereavement, there will be no tears.
Okay.
For the fact that people are crying is that there's a bereavement. And for good measure, that police spokesperson should try to put himself in the shoes of Alhaji Kadrea. That his only offense is that he was able to build a house with his hard-earned resource.
Okay.
And the government cannot provide security for him as stated in section 14, subsection 2
okay.
of the Constitution. So, when we talk, we should be careful as security agents.
Okay.
3, the police IG says, yes, we have put a comprehensive plan in place. We want to see how implementable that comprehensive plan is in place.
Okay.
You need to feed people with information. Yes, we've been able to debunk the story that there was no 700 million ransom as reported.
Okay.
But when you don't give the media proper information, lies will envelop the space.
Okay.
That's what's happening. The only reason why we can debunk that story is that Ferdinand Duhoroha went there, was able to liaise with the family, and he got concrete information. So, this is a recurrent matter.
Okay.
This is a matter that the police ought to be briefing from time to time.
Okay.
From time to time.
Okay.
The 4th point is about psychosocial support to the family members. How much can we get psychosocial support? Because they are in a very distraught place as we speak. Nobody wants their family members to be in harm's way. And look at the Rio family too. That man is crying in pain out because his country has failed him. And this is a lawyer that knows the Constitution. So where's the psychosocial support?
None.
For these people?
Zero.
Does the police even have a veritable arm of psychosocial support?
Okay.
5, how quick are we going to mop up or to put up a mop-up counter plan to defeat these terrorists around these areas? Because you see, that area fall in the Grand Terrorism Belt. Buhari is bordered by Niger and Kaduna. The big influx of the terrorists always normally coming through that area. 6, as regards the Minister of Information, former Minister of Communication, making the point as regards the fact that they are not using the need he had done.
Okay.
What they need to do now is what I call a data handshake. What access do the security forces have to the need database? How is it stored? How can it be totally deployed to be able to be used for intelligence and for tracking in cases like this? So rather than complain, can he also sound a note of warning for a proper functional data handshake across the security and the various data sets we have in the country?
Okay.
I rest my case.
Rest your case, my brother. Rufai said the rest is case. He gave 6 key points. You are giving 6 key points to the zoo. The Kabago, the laughing. Say, look at them. You guys, you are blowing your grammar. While light a lie, they waste your time. Hi, God have mercy. This is the problem. You see? When we keep telling him that this format, blowing grammar is not the issue. Yes, you went to school. You are educated. But that grammar you are blowing is not the issue, because those you are blowing the grammar for, or those who are intended to listen to what you are saying, they don't care. There is a particular language that they understand. Oh my God. There is a particular language that the Fulani Kaba they understand. All this grammar way they blow. You are praising Pantami. You call him the previous Minister of Communication. He had access to name. There should be a handshake, a handover per se, of technology and other stuff. My brother, you've got it wrong. Because those who are intended to listen to you, those who are responsible for what is happening in Nigeria, them no care again. They are carrying out the commandment of their eternal leader, Usman Dan Fodio. That's something you guys need to understand. The mandate is there. The mandate, they know their mandate to conquer Nigeria, to turn Nigeria into an Islamic state. So everything they are doing, they are working hand in hand. There is a linkage, there is a mutual understanding. All the key players from the cabal area, they know what they are doing. Pantami was sent out there to talk about crowdfunding. And the media kept on pushing it out. You kept on breaking it down. And now, before you know it, the whole of the Nigerian, in their psyche, in their mind now, they know there is something called a crowdfunding. So it means the headsmen now, they have now shown you a new way to raise funds. Because before, you guys did not know how to raise funds anymore. You go to your uncle, uncle, I need some money. They have kidnapped my son, my daughter. Uncle said there is no money. At the end, that child, gets killed. They sell their organs. But like I said, even their organ business is getting out of fashion because they don't have light, electricity, a good fridge to keep that organ fresh up to the right temperature. They don't have that facility anymore. So they've gone back to raising money. But because the cabal, they've seen that there is no money in Nigeria. Things are hard, times are hard. So they said the best way they can go now is to enter Abuja and kidnap the politicians because they have money. Which was why Ned Nwokolo and 12 of his staff, they were the first that were kidnapped. Ned Nwokolo is known as a very rich man. So they went to him first, a Biafran man. They went to him first. They kidnapped all his men. But him being greedy, he did not respond on time. So they killed all his 12, assistants. So on the side of the politicians, they have noticed that they have security men around them at all times. So things are a bit hard. It is harder to catch the so-called politicians. So what they are doing now, they said, okay, let us come with a new dimension. You see, so their new dimension is to create empathy and sympathy. A man with 6 children, they were all kidnapped. And somehow the Fulani headsmen, they allowed the man to go and raise money. And suddenly they called the man to come and check if one of the girls killed were his child. And he said yes. So the media now helped to, make sure they propagated that information. And now, GoFundMe is born. Crowdfunding is now the new phenomenon all across Nigeria. It is now the topic of the town. So it means for Benga, for Shola, for Amaka, Nkechi, if they kidnap you, you have to expect your family to do a GoFundMe, a crowdfunding. Raise that money in real time and bring it back. That's the game. Because they need more weapons. The cabal, they need more weapons. And the more you pay those kidnappers, the more they get more money to buy weapons from the black land or the black market. At this point, I want to give thanks to our Prime Minister, a man who saw the handwriting on the wall. He knew the game of the cabal, and he told us that he would not listen to any so-called negotiation because the Biafran politicians, the so-called elders, Ohanes and the rest of them, is this the negotiation you were bringing to the table? Is this nonsense, the so-called negotiation you were expecting the Fulani cabal and the oligarchs to place on the table? You guys must be dreaming. You must be dreaming. At this point, Simon, I want to thank you. I want to appreciate you. You have proven to the whole world that you are a faithful man. You are a faithful disciple of Oyendu Nnamdi Kanu, which is why we love you. Simon, keep your eyes on the prize. Keep your eyes on the goal. You know the assignment. And this year, Biafra will come. We shall leave Nigeria for good before the Fulani killer headsmen Islamize Nigeria. Those who want to remain as one Nigeria, let them continue. Let them start doing GoFundMe. To live amicably with the cabal, you will start doing GoFundMe. You will be raising money to pay for your kidnappers. Hey, my God, have mercy. Only in Nigeria. Only in Nigeria, where you're supposed to hold your government to account, you say no. Leave the government alone. They can steal all the money. They can loot all the money. We shall do GoFundMe and pay the kidnappers. Leave the politicians to steal. They are not responsible for your life, for your welfare, for your safekeeping, for your life and property. No. They are not responsible. Let them eat the money, send their children abroad. You will do GoFundMe. You will do crowdfunding and pay to terrorists and pay to kidnappers when they kidnap you. You guys, you disgust me. You are cowards. Very, very weak people. You are scared of war. You are scared of fighting for your freedom. You are scared of fighting for your liberation. You are ready to bow down to the oppressor. Lazy people. Idiots. I rest my case. From here, for now, I'm going to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. I remain Biafra Superstars Media. I'm very, very angry. Whenever I do these videos, I get angry because I have never seen a people like this. Very weak people. You cannot rise up and fight for yourself. Cabal, Fulani headsmen, dirty looking, dirty monkeys. None of they fear. People when they drink the piece of cow. People that suck the breast of cow. Now them una they fear. You are doing GoFundMe to pay ransom to dirty, stinking looking people. People that they are unkept, they don't shower, in fact, they don't even clean their ass with tissue. You are scared to stand up. You are raising money to pay them. Cowards. Fear people. No wonder, in fact, Fela knew you guys very, very well. God. Fela Sabiuna well. He said it. My people, they fear too much. They fear for the things we no see. They fear for the air around us. Them fear to fight for freedom. Them fear to fight for justice. Them fear to fight for liberty. Them always get reason to fear. I know one die. I know one kill. Mama there for house. Papa there for house. I want enjoy. You want to enjoy life. You want to enjoy. God. No wonder. Because you are not a nation. Nigeria is not a nation, but a contraption, a company created by Britain. A white man and his concubine, his girlfriend, his Ashawo girl, when come from Britain, come see I'm here. She came from Britain to Nigeria to sleep with him, and Ashawo girl, Ashawo concubine. Flora Shaw was his concubine. During those days, they used to send women into the different, their so-called nations of the Commonwealth to sleep with the white men. All the whole lords, every 3 months, new girls come down. But somehow, when they sent down Flora Shaw, to service that dirty man, Lord Lugard, when he saw her, he fell in love. He fell in love with Flora Shaw. He can't begin boast. He was boasting. I want to turn this country to one. I am looking for a name to give this country. What do you think we should name it, Flora? I want to make this country. A white man came to Africa to name you. My God. Very, very disgusting. White man come from Europe to Africa and name, not even him, in Ashawo girl when them pay from England to come sleep with her for 3 months. Flora Shaw Ashawo named you Nigeria. And you're all shouting, one Nigeria, one Nigeria. You believe in Nigeria. A prostitute named you Nigeria. Flora, I want to name this country. What name should we call it, you know? I'm thinking about a name. And she told him, I love, the Niger area. The River Niger looks nice. Why not the Niger area? And she was a racist because she knew black and nigger goes together. The nigger area, the Niger area. She was a racist. Ashawo name una Nigeria. Shame on you all. I'm out of here.